Where's my water at? Whoa. What's happening? What's good? Alright. I'll be right back. I gotta go get my water. I gotta go get my water. Very nice. I can't believe I got this thing started and wasn't even there. Alright, so what's happening with you guys? This is a sticker of my pit bull. She's a blue pit. She's wearing a beret. I keep her on my my little canteen. We're gonna be making one for the boxer as well, so I can have them both on there. Inspirational purposes only, I guess. So I mean, I'm just gonna do like I usually do. I'm gonna show you guys how I made the beat. This one I didn't use a sample. This one I actually created the melodies and stuff by myself using Omnisphere, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and then I'm gonna mention a couple things that I'm trying out this weekend and stuff, and then we can go from there. You know what I'm saying? So, real quick, if you guys have any questions about anything, you know what I mean? If you see this afterwards, or if you've seen this, you know, halfway through I'm doing this or whatever, I don't know how you would go backwards and see, but whatever. Just leave any questions and stuff like that in the comments. I'll be happy to answer. Or you can DM me directly, doesn't matter. You know what I mean? I'm always happy to help, always happy to answer questions and things like that. So, all right. So for... Let me turn this up so you guys can hear it. Turn the speaker towards you guys. Okay. Alright, so for the main melody, you know what I mean? This is for Brown and Sweet Tea, the one that just dropped last Tuesday. The melody for this, I don't know, it's like a bell kind of thing, a real airy bell, and I kind of EQ'd it so that it has more on the low end than the top. That's just how I was feeling that day. Yeah, I don't know what, I think it's in C or F minor. I think it's in C major, but I don't know. I figured it out. I usually just kind of play the melody, sounds good. Then I highlight it and stuff, kind of figure out what the scale is that's in, that's the key. And then I'll go and I'll make all anything else that requires notes or, you know, my actual vocal melodies and stuff, and make sure they're all in the same key whenever I'm writing that afterwards. So, the main melody, I believe, is like, and I did this on my keyboard, right? So, let's see. Yeah. So pretty much like that, and then I let that roll. I loop that over and over again. Arrangement is everything. And then the other thing that I do is I have like these are both from Omnisphere, right? And just like the simple basic Omnisphere, like when you buy it, what comes with it. And what I did with this was interesting, not note wise. We'll go over the melody first, and then I'll talk about what I did interesting with it. So this for the lower kind of, I don't know if I would call it a counter melody, but just for the lower end, the bottom side of it, I did this. Yeah, so I was 2 octaves down, and I did, it was like a cello, maybe? Let's see. What is this? It's something stringed, but I'm pretty sure it's like a cello or something. Yeah, it's a cello. So, and I just thought, I really liked the way it sounded. If you hold it out, you can kind of hear where the loop sounds from the live instrument that they sampled to create it. I think that was really hard, and it also keeps kind of like this analog sound on the higher end of it, like this crackle, you know, that you hear on a vinyl. So on a vinyl record whenever you playing it on a table. So anyway, I thought that was really cool, and at the time I was feeling it. So it's not like I was sitting down and I had this all in my head beforehand. I was just like, let's fucking play something, and I did that original thing with the bells, because you can't go wrong with bells, man. Bells, guitars, and pianos. And then the cello, I don't know, I was just clicking through some stuff, found a cello, and that's where I'm going with it. So yeah, so I kind of stayed in the same like scale, the same key, and played something that went well with the other stuff, and I think something like something like that. Anyway, at the very end it's like that instead of what I did was. Anyway, you get the idea. So I did it like that, and that kind of created this cool little like where they were going back and forth, like this. So anyway, so the cool thing I did with this cello is that and I do this every now and then whenever I don't, because to me, I guess the way that I grew up and the music I used to listen to, and that I do listen to coming up till now, it's been more, I did a lot of live playing music and stuff, growing up, and so sometimes I like the bass to just be part of an instrument like how it's supposed to be in real life. So aside from the kick, to do the low end, I initially I just went with the cello, and I wanted the cello to be more full whenever I didn't have a bass, because I do have a bass in here, and so treat that as the bass. So I doubled it, and so I basically what I did for that is I just boosted the low end. I cut out the rest of it and like compressed it and just made it like nice and large and fat. You know what I'm saying? And so together it goes. You can hear like this is the regular cello by itself, and then I add in I just layered it. You know what I mean? Compressed it and stuff. Now it's much more large and full, and I like that shit. But so you have to be careful though, right? Because then whenever you actually want a bass in, so I do have an actual bass, which it's the exact same melody. Let's see if I can. And that's also out of Omnisphere and stuff, because I just got Omnisphere at this point, so I was trying to do everything on there. You have to alternate it. So while I did have like the double from the actual cello, on some places I wanted an actual long, like elongated, held out bass, and so you could hear me kind of like, and I'll play it in between where I kind of did the transition. You have to take one out, make space for the other. That way I could keep the cello in without having without it clashing, so that's why I layered it that way. So anyway, the next step after that was I just kind of laid out the snare was the next thing, like I always do, the metronome after the melodic stuff, which is what I always say that I do, and I do it because it keeps me, I don't know, to me it's you got to get the head bop first before you create the energy with the hi-hats and the swagger with the kicks. That's how I like to do it. Metronome from the claps, snares, snaps or whatever, or cowbells, whatever the hell you have. The hi-hats are always kind of like the driver of the song, and then to me the kick is like the swagger of the song. So the next thing I did after that was added just this. This last part, I don't know why, but I don't know, it just sounded really crazy. Usually I don't do too much whenever I put a lot of reverb on a snare, but like in this instance it came out really, really tight. So create rules for yourself and then break them and shit. So the next thing was the hi-hats. I added the hi-hats in there, and it was just really like same thing. I use a lot of live sounding stuff to begin with, except for the bells. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep that same thing going on, the same concept. So I went with that, and I got like a live sounding hi-hat. Let's see if I can. Where you at? It's like a, well, here we go. Yeah, I don't know. You know, it sounds really like boom bap kind of sounding and stuff. So anyway, I went with that, and so that was the next thing I put in there, and it's just like maybe every chord note. And I don't know, and like I said, after that is whenever I added the swagger, right? You already kind of have the swagger with the low, the whatever, the cello, you know what I mean? Kind of mixed with the snares and the hi hats, but the kick is just the final piece to that. And so, what I did with this was I did moments, and you can kind of tell with the rest of it already, where I'm giving it a lot of space, and then I'll kind of like act up in certain moments, so I pick and choose. So you give each instrument a little bit of space, and they all have their time in the sun, so to speak. So see how it's like a lot of space, and then I act up. And then whenever, a lot of times though, is especially like I like to do it in context, but the most context that you need to make sure your kick fits in is with the snare and hi hat. So I always kind of like solo that sometimes if I can't figure it out. A lot of times I'm able to just play it in context. But if you're not able to, a good way to make sure that it's going to sound good, like if you feel like maybe I'm just tripping, I'm too close to it, solo your snare, make sure it works with that. And then add in your hi-hat. If there's no problem there, then you should be okay. I mean, unless you got some crazy thing going on in the melodies, you know what I mean? But you shouldn't. Um, yeah, I mean that's pretty much it, and that's how I kind of made that whole thing. The only crazy thing about that was that I went and like I said, I layered those cellos and stuff to make those nice and booming whenever I don't have the more synthetic, like digital sounding bass that I have to hold out. So let me see if we got any questions. All right, yeah, appreciate it. Anyway, so the thing I wanted to point out to you guys afterwards was this, that I've been pushing these pre-saves. I don't ever do that, but Spotify recently just released like some website thing that's got a bunch of studies from like what they've been doing for artists, and evidently pre-saves in relation to artists like me, those help the algorithm or something. So like essentially you're feeding the data to Spotify into what kinds of people are going to like this, so then it helps spread the music to other people who might like it, you know what I'm saying? So if you actually enjoy it, you know what I'm saying, go through and hit that pre-save. We got the song coming out. I've been dropping some acapella versions of it, just so you guys can kind of get the feeling of what I was going for right there, and also just to show you guys that I'm not like an auto-tune like rapper, like, and I'm not gonna lie on you, like I use auto-tune, but just to kind of keep it professional sounding. I'm not gonna have like too much, you know what I mean? I don't like to have too much leeway in terms of like how loose I get with things sound, you know. Some people will go like be completely off pitch, and they'll just be like, yeah, we'll do no, that sounds live, it sounds raw. Like, man, no, you gotta make a good sounding song, you feel me? So yeah, so anyway, that's what I did, and that's why I got that pre-save thing. Aside from that, with every song, and I've decided this, is I'm gonna do something called perspective. So I've been going out and like writing several paragraphs for each song. Like, so now that I'm releasing these songs that I made 8 months ago, I'll be listening to them, and what the issues and ideas that kind of come up into my head from listening to it, I'll go and I'll like write passages in my perspective on those things, at least as they stand right now in my head. And so I've been like, instead of just keeping them just to myself on my phone, I've been putting them on my website. They're going to all be up there come Tuesday whenever Need Nobody drops. By the way, that's going to be a music video and a song. On my website, I'm gonna have them, and they're all like 99 cents. You know what I mean? You go in there. I have like some of them are like 8 paragraphs long. Some of them are like a couple paragraphs. But if you really like the song, and you want to know more about like me and like what that song means to me, you can basically go there and like, you know, pay 99 cents and be able to read that whole thing of like my perspective of the ideas that conjured in my mind from listening to it. So anyway, does anybody have any questions? We got 2 people in here. What's happening with it? All right, cool. I think that's it. That was the only things I was going to do here, is let you guys know what's going on. On top of that, I'm going to be creating some merch that's going to be coming out soon after the Need Nobody release. One for Signal and one for this Need Nobody thing. So I feel like you guys are going to fucking eat this shit up, you know what I'm saying? So Anyway, until then, I appreciate y'all coming out. You know, much love, and we'll see you guys Tuesday on the drop.